Anyway, Chad, I want to get down to business tonight, as we do, because I have been having a blast rebuilding these early 90s San Jose Sharks, and we are in an interesting little position. Now, I did I did go through last night. We're trying to sign an entire scouting staff. So I did most of the boring stuff off stream. Now it's just a matter of how we want to approach free agency. And I feel like I know what direction I want to go. When it comes to goaltending, you know, there's a chance we could bring back Urbe. There's a chance we could bring back... it wasn't Hextall that we had in goal. You know the other... Ron Tugnut. There we go. We could bring them back or go for somebody else, but the overall to be like a backup or even starter goalie is lower in this reality. So it might just be worth waiting to see what the development is like this offseason for both the net detective, Jim Carey, and the Bulin Wall, Nikolai Khabibulin. Defensively, there was a question of like, man, do we go after a big-time player? But we have such a young defense and a young team, and I still kind of want to build around who's going to be in those first couple of drafts that Snipe added to the game. So I think we're going to play it very cautiously here in terms of free agency and not try to grow too fast. So goalie-wise, we're going to let Urbe go. We're going to let Tugnut go, and we'll see how that plays out. Defensively, again, someone like Kevin Hatcher or Chason could be really good, but it's just not the right time for a player like that. If it's going to be the time that we take a shortcut for a player, it would have been for Keith Tkachuk, but he is an RFA, and that's 4 first-round picks. That's risky, especially in the upcoming drafts that we still have. So we're going to play it safe. Like I said, the Mike Keens of the world, the Kevin Hatchers would be pretty good, but we're going to take it slow and steady and see what happens. Is I'm going to have to spam through a million bajillion coach and scout accepted offers. Tim Cook. Shout out to Mr. Apple. Mr. Sandman. God, this chair's squeaky as shit. We're back in the era of squeaky chair. Need that Chara Pronger pairing. Yeah. I mean, obviously now we're talking about the 95, and then there should be some players from the 96 draft, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I didn't even notice one of those scouts is Peter Stastny. Well, there you go. We need the head coach to be Ron Burgundy. Do we? I mean, I suppose there is a San Jose-San Diego rivalry, but to that extent? Would we trust him? Would we trust him? Better make sure he has a teleprompter at a press conference. Another trade involving Edmonton and New Jersey. Anderson and Hudson for Matthias Oland, a second and a third. So Glenn Anderson on the move. Edmonton continuing to get some young players to try and rebuild. That's fair. Doesn't look like anything's going to happen with our RFAs, which doesn't really surprise me. It was worth a shot, though. See if we could get some extra picks. That did not happen. John, how are you? All right, so RFAs. Raptors as well. I saw what game you were playing on my friends list there. I don't know. I think we'll be heading back to the pitch tonight, more than likely. Pat Falloon, let's go 3 years of 4.5 to make sure that you accept. Last year's Calder winner, Ray Whitney, will go 3 years of $4 million. Just to bring him to his last year of RFA status, knowing that we might be able to get a qualifying offer in there. And then Vyacheslav Kozlov. 3-year deal for you. We'll go 2.25. That works for me. God, those guys have developed fast, too. Sheesh. Balloon sounds like a B-tier insult. That's fair. That is fair. Meg, we'll see what happens, won't we? I am well aware that you would like to play. You make it clear on a nightly basis. All right. Well, the other two sign already? Thank you. All right. Let me double check. Unsigned dudes. Kevin Weeks is still in junior. All three of those guys are still in junior. Okay. So we might have to bring in a couple of veteran depth signings, but that's about it. So goalies. Jim Carey did become a backup. Hobby Bullen is not NHL level. So let's go sign the best goalie still left on the list, although that doesn't really mean much. We could go for Blaine Locker. Frank Pietrangelo. We will sign Blaine Locker. It is going to be to an ELC. But we'll bring him in. I don't know who our backup is going to be this year. We'll figure it out. Defensively, we learned our lesson with Rathje last year. So we need another right-handed shot. It's not going to be Ian Moran. And then some depth defensemen. So let's see who's still out there for defense to fill out this team. Nobody great. Shit. Could get an enforcer. Gord Donnelly. Lance Pitlick. We got a Luongo. We don't have too many great options here, do we? We really don't. Doug Huda? Honestly, we could go for Doug Huda. Let's bring in Donnelly. We'll bring in a veteran face puncher for the year. And then we are still going to have to sign some AHL level talents. So, Buck, I agree. I've enjoyed it. I still have it on. Off to the side, but obviously I'm going to watch things back afterwards. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no prospects at this point. Okay. Let's see. Who do we want to go for then? I followed the draft. I sure did. Let's see. Doug Huda. Bring you in. Shout to Max. 3 years on the dot. Max on the 36 months. Welcome back. Thank you. And how the heck are you? Hope you're good. Thank you for supporting my face. Oh, we got to bring back Peter Laviolette. We got to bring back Dallas Eakins. Any other future coaches we can bring back? It's like overly notable coaches. Flames got the next Cale Makar. You never know. My takeaway from that is, hey, it's pretty cool that people are already like, yes, the next Cale Makar. Shows how good Cale Makar is. Let's go for Jeff Chikrin and Jake's dad. We'll also go for Todd Nelson. That should be okay for defensive depth. I can't imagine we're going to need as many depth forwards on this team. Right wing side, oh yeah. So Ralston and Valerie Bure are both depth forwards. We learned our lesson from last year. Just leave them in the minors. But Pat Falloon is back. So Ralston and Bure down. Falloon, McCarty, Barnaby, and Martin Lapointe. Woo. That is a team. I did not give Naslund his X Factors back. Nor did he develop any. But we'll see what happens. Maybe I should have. But I haven't for now. Ooh, shit. This could be interesting. Okay, actually, that works out. Whitney, Naslund, Kozlov, Chris Simon. That works out perfectly. And then what do we have at center? Okay, we still don't have any centers that have really developed yet. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Let's see who we can sign. Elite 1C, John Madden. Yeah, that might be what we're looking at. Just to double check. Like Mojay's out there, but I really didn't need a right wing. Big Jim Cummins. Left wing side. Yeah, none of those guys are really prospects anymore. And then centers. It's like medium bottom sixes. Okay. So. Is that Jim Dowd? It is Jim Dowd. Could go for Jim Montgomery. Oh, man. We're going to have to play some of these centers ahead of schedule. I mean, there's just not... It's not a great answer here. Tukey. Tim Tukey. Tim Tukey, 24. Okay. Well, we pretty much know what we'll have to do. It's going to be an interesting team this year. So, Shantz doesn't have a crazy high potential. LePerriere was a medium 9. Yell's a medium 9. Drury's a medium 6. Buck, I think they're going to wait. Like, all these guys are medium 9s. Just go for it. Perriere's 20, Yell's 20. We could spare Chris Drury. Madden's 21, so if he's going to develop at all, it's time to get him in there. So let's go back to the left wing side, drop all of these dudes. Let's drop Hoagland and Sear. And woof. Well, the goal was to still be pretty bad, and the good thing is, while the rest of the offense is developing, I think that center core will, in fact, be bad. Karpov would be a perfect depth forward, so let's wait for those defensive signings to come through, and then we'll start paying attention to what the lines might be. Not worth doing yet. All right, there's Donnelly, Huda, Chikrin, Nelson, Richards, Laviolette, Eakins, and Blaine Locker in goal. Still listed as sellers, thank God. So goalie-wise, let's have... We'll go for Blaine Locker as the backup. So goaltenders. Inuyasha, what's going on? We're going to have two former Bruins, the net detective himself, Jim Carey, and Blaine Locker, which is perfect. And then AHL is going to be Hobby Bullen and Corey Hirsch. So we do need to sign a depth goalie. We got to sign a depth goaltender. Defensively, we are going to send down Rathje. Meaning, God help us, Peter Laviolette or Dallas Eakins is about to make this team. We'll actually go for Dallas Eakins as a defensive defenseman. Actually, you know what? We won't. We'll take him out. Let's drop Mike Rathje for Donnelly for the fighting. That works. And then we can call up somebody. Let's go for Jeff Chikrin as our depth defenseman. So we have some grit on the blue line still. Right wing side was good. Left wing side is more than good. And then the centers, leave a bit to be desired, but we don't really have any better options. So we'll see how this plays out for us. So Karpov and Chikrin as the scratches. Right wing side. LaPointe's a grinder. Barnaby's a grinder. McCarty's a grinder. What roster file is this? Can I get it on PS5? No, you cannot get it on PS5. It's on Xbox Series consoles only, unfortunately. But it is Snipe and Scores 92-93 roster file. We're going to put Darren McCarty on the fourth line. Let's bump up Barnaby and Marty LaPointe. As far as the centers are concerned... Again, they are all medium 9s. Shantz is a two-way. LePerriere is a grinder. Yell is a two-way. Madden's a two-way. Jesus. We'll put LePerriere on the fourth line. Top line center John Madden, just to try and get him to develop. And then the left side is pretty freaking good, man. I want to play Kozlov on the second line. That way Naslin's in his proper role. So Whitney, Madden, Falloon, Kozlov, Shantz, Barnaby. We'll go Naslin, Madden, Falloon, Whitney, Shantz, Barnaby, Kozlov, Yale, LaPointe, Simon, LaPerriere, McCarty, which is a hell of a lot of grit. Obviously, something's going to have to give on that left wing side sooner rather than later, and it's probably Vyacheslav Kozlov. Keep saying Victor. Defensively, Pronger, Ozolinsh, Gates, Donnelly, Moore. Okay, playing these two enforcers on the same pairing together should be fucking illegal. The odds that somebody on this team gets charged with murder before the end of the year isn't zero. It's not a 0% chance. That works. That works. Okay. So all we have to do is go sign a 5th goalie, and then we'll see what happens. I'm obviously still pretty disappointed that the game immediately took away Naslin's abilities, and he hasn't earned them back, but it is what it is. So goalies, I just need a depth veteran goalie. I knew it was Rick Nickel. Old Rick Nickel. Is there another name out there? Frank Pietrangelo, you're a bit too good. Is there anybody? Mr. Del Guidis. Wade Flaherty. Just go for the old man. Let's take old Rick Nickel. We need you for the year, buddy, as a depth goaltender, please, and thank you. And then we'll make sure the AHL is properly set up. Mr. Nickel, thank you. I was going to say, what the hell are you waiting for? Who else are you going to sign with? You're so old. Jim Carrey and Blaine Locker getting my Bruins influence in on this team. So in the AHL, goaltending, Hobby Bullen and Hirsch, which is pretty good. Defense, Rathje, Huda, Laviolette, Richards, Eakin, Moran. We want Merrick Malik in, even though we're probably going to trade him. We want Laviolette out for Tamander. Celebrini going to be nice year one. He's going to play year one. I mean, but he's going to have a very bad team around him. So, tempered expectations would be for the best. Yeah, that works. Not the worst AHL defense for the defending Calder Cup champs. Nobody to replace Dodie Wood with. Craig Johnson. I bought him 6. Craig Johnson. Nazarov we care about. Unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to play everybody. But one of these medium bottom 6s will have to sit out. And who is that going to be? It's going to be the enforcer because the sniper might actually have some potential. Let's get high bottom 6 Craig Johnson in there. Nazarov was also a medium bottom 6. Okay. So the rest of you guys were pretty much medium 9s, except for Valerie Bure, Miro Shatan. Okay, so the worst medium 9 of the bunch is Sean Bates. We'll drop you down. Hoagland or Sear? Sear will get bumped up. Okay, let's see. How do these lines fit? We'll have Calhoun, Bates, and Johnson. Hoagland, Metropolitan, Breland. Sear, Drury, Shatan. Bure, Ralston, Eliash. That is a phenomenal top line for the AHL. That is so good. So I think we're okay, and I also think we're probably looking at naming Chris Pronger our captain here, huh? I think that's going to be necessary. Did Falloon always have the silver 1T, by the way? I don't know if he did. Can't keep track. Well, let's make it official. Let's make it official in terms of captaincy. You knew it was coming. Chris Pronger absolutely has to be our captain. Pat Falloon is going to have a letter. Probably Ray Whitney as well. I mean, Whitney's been really good for us. He won the Calder. I think we're good with that. Please tell me the menu lag worked in our favor. It did. Okay, who is the best coach for the job? Is it still Froats at a 68%? We have a great coaching staff here. Sawchuk at a 66. Whitfield at a 60. We have Bork at a 68. Froats was better. Geispers, 57. Lockhart's, 66. And Forbes at a 70. All right, well, Drake Forbes, congratulations. You are our head coach. Congrats. So we'll send Sawchuk down. We'll have Bork as our associate coach. And then we're going to be able to fire one of you guys. I hate to say it's going to be Froats, but it would make sense. Or we can just leave him as a goalie coach. Who cares? Let's just leave him as a goalie coach. Shouldn't be a big deal. A+ goalie coach for the NHL. Peter Stechkal. Can't wait until Gretzky retires so we can bring him in and make him a head coach. So, AJ, I'm perfectly fine with that. So, I saw you say it as like a negative in response to Endo. I'm not in agreement. That's a very typical thing. All right. In terms of the scout... Jesus, we have to set up the entire scouting department. I wish there was a faster way to do it, but there isn't. So, we got 2 in the O. Isn't it lazy? No. Buck, I think it would be later. Could be wrong. But almost 2 weeks until college football. The hype is real. I know. And hopefully people around here like football on this channel because there's going to be a hell of a lot of football between both CFB and Madden. It's really been the year of college football on my channel. So, Snipe, what's up? We're better but still bad. Is the best way to phrase it. We are better. We're getting there. But I'll show you what our centers look like in a second. Leaves just a little bit to be desired. Smidge. Slow and steady. Yeah, I mean, we had some decent names like Kevin Hatcher that we could have signed in free agency, but I got my eye on some other people. Smalls, what's up? I have been good. How have you been? I'm sorry. I'm very focused on not making a dumb mistake because this takes long enough as it is. So... let's do what we want to do. So, let's do what we want to do here. Make sure we don't screw up, get through this, so we don't have to sit in these menus for 16 years. Why there isn't a faster way to go through these, I don't know, but there isn't. Still got players in the rest of the world category to move from Nova Scotia to Ontario. It sounds terrible and expensive. Then again, I imagine Nova Scotia can be pretty expensive nowadays, too. Everywhere is expensive. Which football conference makes the most sense for a team in New Jersey? The American? Yeah. It's probably a good shout. Let's see, NLA. I don't even think Hawks is making a joke about the conference, but he's right, which is the funny thing. Let's see... Stralaga. And we got to get a... oh my god. This takes so long. Why isn't there a quick change button? Jesus. Like, just let me go to region, hit Y to change region, and just let me scroll through them. Why do I don't need the in-depth view every time. It's such a pain in the ass. You know what's bad? When a menu streamer is complaining about how long things are taking in the menu, that's how you know it's a problem, right? But, all right, so a reminder of what we look like. Top line, Marcus Naslin, John Madden, and Pat Falloon. Matthew Barnaby with Jeff Shantz and Ray Whitney. Vyacheslav Kozlov, Stefan Yell, and Marty Lapointe. Darren McCarty, Ian LaPerriere, and Chris Simon. We have some grit. Defensively, it is Chris Pronger, our captain, alongside Drake Barahowski, Jason Moore with Sandish Uzelinch, and Link Gates with Gord Donnelly. The goaltenders, Blaine Locker, and the net detective himself. Healthy scratches of Valery Karpov and Jeff Chikrin. And, of course, in the AHL, we have some good names. Valerie Bure, Brian Ralston, Patrick Eliash, Miro Shatan, Chris Drury. We got some pieces that we're building around. Mike Rathje, Merrick Malik. And in goal, Nikolai Habibulin. But I do want to take a look at the rest of the league here to see how some other players have developed. And to see where some of those free agents went, because it was a decently sized free agent class. I didn't really check to see where anybody went. So, Sear's actually supposed to be much older. Is he? Well, hey, I benefit from it, so don't worry about it. Let's see. The Winnipeg Jets. Kachuk, Zhamnov, Solani, Nikolai Borchevsky, Thomas Steen. Still a very solid core for the Jets. Defensively, Phil Housley, Freddie Olesen, Teppo Numanen. Jesus. Goaltenders, Bob Essens is still their guy, huh? And Brian Hayward. They still haven't gotten an upgrade on their goaltending. Huh. The Boston Bruins, Joe Juno, Adam Oates, Cam Neely, John Cullen, and Steve Leach. Brian Smolinski keeps getting better. Not bad. Defense is a declining Ray Bourque. You hate to see it. Damn it. Damn it. That team is not great around him either. Like Don Sweeney, Eric Weinrich, Brian Marchment, but that's not the best team we've ever seen. Goaltenders, John Blue and Andy Moog. Oh, Boston, you are going to start lagging behind, aren't you? LaDoucher. Sorry. Oh, Randy. Let's see. The Buffalo Sabres still with that ridiculous top line of Dale Howardchuk, Pat LaFontaine, and Alexander Mogilny. They still got Donald Audette. Brad May on the fourth line. Defense led by Doug Bodger. A couple other solid pieces. Philippe Boucher, Keith Carney. Goaltender, Grant Fuhr, and a declining Dominik Hasek, who's lost his gold X Factor. I don't want to live in the reality where Dominik Hasek didn't become the best goaltender of all time. Not named Tuukka Rask, of course. Wow. Schmelik, Corkum, Sutton. Scratches Calgary with Gary Roberts, Newman-Dyke, Theo Fleury, Sergei Makarov, Mike Ridley, Murray Craven, who always sounded like a NASCAR driver to me. Robert Reichel, they got Fitzgerald. That's a hell of a team in Calgary. Defense, Gary Suter and Al McInnes. Drops off a bit from there, but not bad. Goaltenders, Mike Vernon and Trevor Kidd. So, Calgary, wow, I got some good scratches too. They're going to be looking dangerous this year. The Hartford Whalers, Jeff Sanderson, Andrew Castles, Pat Verbeek, Michael Nylander. Let's see, on defense, Zarli Zalapski, Jeff Brown. Gold X Factor for Jeff Brown. Fair enough. Goaltenders, Jeff Hackett, who we let go of a couple of years ago, is going to be the backup to Sean Burke. See, Chicago, Michel Goulet, Jeremy Roenick, Steve Larmer, Brent Sutter, Neil Broughton, Joe Murphy. Todd Elick there, too. Chicago's not looking that bad. Not at all. Defense, Steve Smith and Chris Chelios, Uwe Krupp, Rob Zettler, who we got rid of last year. Goaltenders, Eddie Belfour and Mark Fitzpatrick. Belfour is a beast. Corey Millen, Jan Eriksson, Troy Murray is scratches. Fair enough. Colorado, a.k.a. Quebec. Good Christ. Valerie Kamensky, Joe Sakic, and Matt Sundin. Owen Nolan, Mike Ricci, Ulf Dahlin. Peter Forsberg has cracked the NHL lineup with Marty Ruchinski. They got Kovalev. Poor Rob Gaudreau has declined since we traded him. We fucked over that guy's career. He could have been special for us, but we cashed in. Wait, Low Elite's a thing. Yeah, for anybody in chat, by the way, who's always like, hey, I want to play FC Pro Clubs with you guys, but you never have space. Chat now has, instead of the Medium Elite Club, the Low Elite Club, and I guess they're playing right now. So there you go. Get your games in. Get your games in with the Academy boys. Train them fellas up. Make it undeniable to put them into the lineup. Steve Duchesne and Adam Foote on defense. Doug Wilson has lost his abilities. He stayed around much longer than I expected. And then goalies Manny Fernandez has taken over for Stefan Fisette. Didn't expect Minnesota Wild, Boston Bruins legend Manny Fernandez to be the back starter. The Minnesota North Stars, Jimmy Carson, Mike Modano, Russ Courtnall, Dave Gagne. Their depth isn't incredible, but Jere Lehtinen has made their lineup, and we love ourselves a Finnish Hall of Famer. Defensively, okay, you do have younger guys like Darian Hatcher making it, but that is one of the weaker defense cores in the league. Goaltenders, Tim Chevelday and Darcy Wakaluk. Gino Ojic and Shane Churla as the scratches. Detroit, the defending Stanley Cup champions. Fedorov, Yzerman, and Mike Gartner went to Detroit. Jesus Christ. Wendell Clark went to Detroit and is on a line with Igor Larionov and Dino Ciccarelli. You got Ray Shepard on the third line. They could easily go back-to-back with that lineup because we know the defense is still going to be sick. Lidstrom and Konstantinov, Paul Coffey, and Manny Christie, who they took in the draft, who is unbelievable already as a generated dude. And goaltender, Chris Osgood. They could easily repeat. Dude, they have Mike Sillinger scratched. Dallas Drake, too, for that matter. Fuck the other guy. Edmonton, Shane Corson, Doug Waite, Jason Arnott. That's not bad. They got a couple other names in there. Jelena, Stumple, Scott Thornton. But not the strongest forward lineup in the league, that's for sure. Defense, Dave Manson, and it falls off a bit from there. Goaltenders, Billy Ranford and Stefan Beauregard. So Edmonton's rebuilding. They're rebuilding. Yeah, Colin, I don't see why not. The LA Kings. Can Gretzky and company finally get it done? Robitaille, Gretzky, Curry, Thomas, Sandstrom, Kerry Wilson, Tony Granato, Probert now in Los Angeles. So they've added some more protection for Wayne Gretzky. Defense is Daryl Sador, Rob Blake, Alexei Zhitnik, McSorley is still there. Damn. And then goalies, Kelly Rudy. They still have Kelly Rudy and Rob Stauber. My God. How? How do you still have those two? Montreal, Kirk Muller, Vinny Damphousse, and Denny Savard. Kissio, Bellows, Leclerc, Carbonneau, LeBeau. It's a pretty good forward. Pretty good forward group, especially when John Leclerc is on the third line. Defense is Schneider, Desjardins, Norton, Breezewa, Odeline, and Hill. Good. Not great, but good. And, of course, the goaltender, Patrick Waugh. New York Islanders legend, Patrick Waugh. Buck, that's a hell of an autocorrect. A couple scratches there. What do the Devils look like? Bobby Halik, Bernie Nichols, Claude Lemieux, Stefan Richer, Larry Zelapukin, Jamie McLean, Glenn Anderson's there. Bill Guerin on the fourth line. Jesus. Defense is Scott Niedermayer with Smith, Scott Stevens, and Bruce Driver, Danico, and Slava Fetisov. Pretty damn good. So they weren't able to keep IF Brady. Goaltender Martin Brodeur has lost his gold, but he is up to an 86. Dude, players just do not keep gold abilities. They just don't. It's ridiculous. They lose them so fast. The hell? And you can't turn off the way ability development works either. That's just the way it works. The New York Islanders, Derek King, Pierre Turgeon, Steve Thomas, Marty McGinnis, Ray Ferraro, Jeff Friesen, Benoit Hogue, Rob Niedermeyer, Mr. Flatley. That is a hell of a team. The top 9 all at least have a silver. That's a hell of a team. Defense, Tom Curvers, Darius Kasparaitis is developing, Bob Rouse, Bob Beers, Vladimir Malakoff. Okay. Goaltender, John Van Beesbrook, and Glenn Healy. Not a bad combo. Not bad. The New York Rangers. My God. Still. Adam Graves, Mark Messier, Tony Amani. You got Turcotte, Eddie Olczyk, and Alex Kovalev. Alex Daig has made the team as their fourth line center. Great, great squad. Defense, Brian Leach, Sergei Zubov, Kevin Lowe, James Patrick. God damn. I mean, the Western Conference has its monstrous teams, but damn, the Eastern Conference as well. Would you rather fit the player according to the role and chemistry, or do you value overall more? Depends on the circumstances. Because for the most part, if it values the role, then they're going to be in the right spot regardless of the overall, right? Typically. The Ottawa Senators, Sylvain Turgeon, Yashin continues to develop, Kudleski. Their first overall pick, Daniel Alfredson, has made the team with Steve Ruchin and Kelly Miller. So Alfie has made the Sens in Season 1. Defense, Norm McIver, and that is where Kevin Hatcher landed. So Kevin Hatcher has moved on. Is there a way to stop inflation for the ratings as the years go on? Nope. It's just the way the mode works this year. Oh, Taps, what did you do? It's the obsession with John Madden. I know, don't get me wrong. It's fucking funny. Downright ridiculous. But, good old John Madden, huh? Hate putting mid-80s on the fourth line. At that point, I just end up trading them. You know? At that point. Let's see, who did Ottawa have in goal? Guy Hebert and Darren Madeley. Madeley? I actually don't know. Philadelphia, Lindros, Brindamore, Recchi. We'll see if that line can finally do something because the rest of the squad isn't too crazy. Defense, Gary Galley, Rick Natras. They signed Chason. He's with Yuskevich. It's a pretty good defense. Goalies, Don Beaupre and Tommy. So why do you still have Tommy Soderstrom? He's been so bad for you the whole time. Jesus. Some of these teams are just not making changes. Then you have a team like Pittsburgh that really shouldn't have to. Kevin Stevens, Mario Lemieux, Jaromir Jagr, Sean McEachern, Rod Francis, Rick Tocchet, Martin Straka, Garpenlofts on the fourth line. We tanked your career, buddy. We did. It was him and Gaudreau that we could have kept, but we made room for younger guys, and we just kind of screwed these guys over. Although if Garpenloff wins the cup this year, I'm sure he won't care. Is that Mike Sullivan? On the team he'd go on to coach. If it's the same one, which I'm pretty sure it is. Ulf Samuelsson. There we go. Larry Murphy. Rest of the defense. Wow, Mark Howe hasn't retired yet. He's 39. Sweet Jesus. Way to go, Mark Howe, for not retiring yet. Goaltenders, Tom Barrasso and Ken Reggett. Karkner, Glenn, and Taglianetti as the scratches. St. Louis Blues, Shanahan, Craig Janney, Brett Hull, Dale Hunter. Damn. Kevin Miller. I mean, that's a pretty good team in St. Louis. Not bad. Defense, cross. Oh, okay, the defense is where it falls off a bit. Like, Brett Hedican is up there as one of your best options. Runs in the blood, basically, right? And then goaltender Cujo and Ron Tugnut. So Tugnut went to St. Louis. Context on the hatred towards Larry Murphy. It's not Larry Murphy, it's Olaf Samuelsson. The man that ended Cam Neely's career. Tampa Bay Lightning, they're getting better. Tucker, Bradley, Crichton. They drafted John Cheng as a random generated dude. They're still not amazing, but they're getting more competitive. Defense, Roman Hammerlick, Al Iafrate. Wanted to head to Florida. Get some warm weather throughout the year. Mark Bergevin was there too. Goaltenders, Wendell Young and J.C. Bergeron. They're getting better in some ways, but not in others. The Toronto Maple Leafs. Ooh, wow, they suck. The top line of Andrechuk, Gilmore, and free agent signing Mike Keane. Awesome. It drops off hard from there. Ron Wilson, Yannick Perreault, Joe Sacco, Kent Manderville. Radek Bonk is on the fourth line as an 18-year-old. Wow. Defense, Dave Ellett. The Leafs are going to be bad this year. The Leafs are going to be Matt Martin, the OG. The Leafs are going to be bad this season. They do have Felix Potvin, but he has lost his abilities. And they also have 25-year-old Damian Rhodes. So, wow. Scratches, nobody crazy. I mean, Darby Hendrickson. Yeah, the Leafs are going to be bad this year. The Vancouver Canucks, Greg Adams, Cliff Ronning, Pavel Bure, Jeff Courtnall, Pelle Eklund, Trevor Linden, Peter Nedved, Scott Mellenby. That's a pretty deep team. Not bad. Not bad at all. Defense, Jyrki Lume, Shodin, Slager, Gerald Diddick, Dave Babbage, Bill Holder. Okay. Not the best, but not the worst. Goaltenders, Urbe. We elected not to bring him back, and he went to Vancouver alongside other top free agent goaltender John Casey. So the Canucks completely reworked their goaltending tandem this year. Wow. And the Washington Capitals, Paul Kariya, has made the team. A year after being drafted, he is with Michael Pivonka and Peter Bondra. Paul Kariya. Capitals legend, potentially. Defense is Sergei Gonchar at 20. Ken Cleek, Calle Johansson. Caps are getting better. Goalies, though, Rick Taparachi, but Ole Kolzig is there as their primary starter. So we've seen quite a bit of developments amongst these players, and in terms of what happens next, I mean, we're about to find out. But the big thing to talk about is the free agent class. It's not, it's draft class. Let's talk about it. The 1995 draft headlined by Jerome Iginla. There is a generated Callie Silverberg. My boy, Peter Sikora. Let's see if we can make that happen. Kyle McLaren, Shane Doan, Andy McDonald, Michael Hanzus, Ryan Berard, Damon Lankow, Taryn Jokic, Wade Redden, Max Savad, Radek Dvorak, Maxim Morozov, Philip Kuba, Joe Corvo, Jan Herdina. I mean, there's quite a few familiar names. We're going to have a few more generated guys in the mix, including a Camden Tham. It's going to be difficult for us to be the worst team in the league. Hello, Mika Kiprasov. Hello. Hello. Wow. PJ Axel's in there, too. It's another big draft for us. We just got to make the most of it.